That was the main simple lead guitar lick in The Rhythm of Love by the Scorpions. And guys, this is one of my all-time favorite Scorpion songs, and really one of my, I'd say probably maybe even like top 20 songs. That tends to change. You guys know how this goes. We love these songs one day and the next day it's something else and so forth. But going back, this is a band and one of the songs that I started listening to when I first started playing guitar. So it kind of has a little bit different and deeper meaning to me personally. But I want to share this lead pattern with you. I want to show you how to play this, but more importantly, I'm going to show you how to take this pattern and expand on it to make it your own. We're going to do that at the end of this lesson. So you want to hang around for that because that's really the core of the lesson. And of course, I've got some other tips I want to share with you as well. So before we get into learning the actual lead lick here, and again, it's pretty simple, but I want us to learn the chord structure first, the chord progression that's supporting that lead pattern. This is going to first help you learn the lead pattern a little bit better, and it's also, I just feel like it's just a good thing to know. Why learn the guitar solo if you can't play the rhythm? That just doesn't make any sense to me. Now, a couple of things about this pattern here. We'll get right to this, okay? A couple of things real quick though. First is simple. It's only 3 chords. But the second thing, this is kind of the caveat, and I think this is one of the things that's so captivating to me about this particular song. It's in a key that a lot of guitar players never even think about playing in. It's in the key of G minor. So I'm gonna play through this real quick. Let me just do that now, and I'll kind of break it down before we get into the lead pattern. Really beautiful sound, beautiful progression. Again, 3 chords, but because we're in a different key and we're in standard tuning, by the way, I believe Scorpions, they were always in standard tuning, we're having to play one of those chords in another position that we're not used to playing on our guitars. We just don't venture out into these keys and chords that often. So you've got a G minor, then you go to an E flat, which that's one of those chords that we rarely play, and then you go to an F after that. Now, there are 2 ways to play this. I'll kind of go through this quickly here. So, by the way, G minor, if you're new at bar chords, you're playing a bar chord here, which in this case, you're barring the entire 3rd fret. Okay, thank God we're playing this on electric and not acoustic, because your fingers get tired on acoustic. Anyway, so a G minor bar chord is just going to be barring the entire 3rd fret. Then the next 2 strings, the A and D string, are going to be the 5th fret, and then the remaining strings are going to be 3. So it's 3, 5, 5, then 3s. Just a real cool sound, just a real cool tone that comes from that specific chord. Then we go to an E flat here, and again, this is just a straightforward bar chord. I don't even strum the entire, I don't strum across all the strings here, but you are on the A, you are starting on the A string, that's going to be 6th fret, and then your next 2 strings over, you're going to bar that 8th fret there. And you would bar that B string 8th fret as well, but I tend to only play those first 3 strings when I'm playing this little riff here. Lastly, we're just playing an F, and I'm playing this as a bar chord as well. It's kind of the same thing we did with that G minor, so you're going to carry that same position, but you're going to start out on the 1st fret of the E string there. And then another difference here, we're playing a major, not a minor, so you're going to take your middle finger, and in this case, you're going to also play, this is the G string, 2nd fret, okay? So you've got 1, 3, 3, then you've got, what is that, 2, and then 1, 1. Hopefully I called all that out right. Now, real quick, we're getting to the lead pattern here. Real quick, I want to show you Just another way you can play this, and I don't really know how the Scorpions, I don't know how they play the song. Guys, I honestly, I never dig that deep into learning other people's music. I don't have the time for it, for one, because I'm writing my own music, but I will hear things and I'll say, okay, well, I think that's what they're doing, and I'll kind of put it out there. So if I miss a note or if I'm playing this wrong, please forgive me. It's not my intent to steer you in the wrong direction. I just don't have the bandwidth to learn a lot of covers unless I'm doing them on acoustic, which I usually just transpose those songs all together, as most of you guys know from my live acoustic gigs. So here's a second way you can play it, and this is specific to the E flat. So So instead of playing this, I'm playing this. And we are on the strings, the D, the G, and the B strings here, and that's frets 1, 3, and 4. So it's just a different way you can play that E flat if you want to play it there instead. I think that sounds a little bit cooler in my opinion, but it really doesn't matter. Let's get to the solo part here. Alright, so I was a little dramatic on that last bend there, but it's so cool. And if you're playing, if your volume's up a little bit, I'm kind of low in here. If you got your volume up a little bit, or if you're playing through like a tube amp or something like that, man, that'll resonate a really cool tone as you just let that note ring out and just kind of milk it, okay? Let's go through this pattern. It's pretty simple. There are basically kind of two parts to this. That second part is just that bend, and everything's kind of similar until you get to that piece there. So let's go through this note by note. I'm just going to kind of start out. We're on that D string. We're playing that D string open. Then we're going to go to frets 3, 5. Then we're going to go over to the G string 3rd fret. Here's where the tricky part can be, is going from that 3rd fret G string back to the 3rd fret D string, because that's where you're going to go to after that. Then you're going to slide up to the 5th fret on that D string, okay? So that was a real cool effect. I did that by total accident. I hit the string down here with my thumb. But, you know, sometimes cool stuff happens by accident. And that's the stuff you really want to keep. Like if you're recording something and you come up with something real cool by accident, you're like, okay, that's staying in the mix. Anyway, that was that was totally by mistake, and a side note there. So let's go through that first part once more. Real quick before we move forward, another thing I do is around that time where I'm switching back from the 3rd fret to the 3rd fret between those D and G strings, or G then D, I'm also kind of palm muting, okay? You'll notice I'm also kind of palm muting those as well. That will help prevent some of the noise that you might get from going from the same fret of a string to that same fret of a different string, if that makes sense, okay? So after that, we move on to this part. I love that. It's almost got like this blues undertone to it, but a lot of soul and feeling behind it as well. It's just a really simple bend. We're on the G string there. We're just playing, you know, the third and fifth frets there. So we're bending that fifth fret and then going back to that third fret. It's kind of like a double bend there. You're going to bend it, but then it's kind of like you say, psych, I'm going to go back. Then you bend it again. So it's kind of one of those like parts of the solo that really captivates you, or captivates me anyway. Now again, guys, just want to preface, I'm probably not playing everything note for note exactly like they do it. I always have kind of my own interpretation. But anyway, we'll talk more about that in a second. So that sums up the first part of that lick. The second time around, everything's the same except we have that bend on the B string. So let me go through that. All we're doing there, we're starting on the 6th fret of the B string, okay? Now, again, the places, the frets and the notes that we're playing here, because we're in the key of G minor, these are notes you're probably not used to playing. So in essence, we're learning our fretboard a little bit better here by learning this simple pattern. Now time for the fun part of this video. We're gonna take this little lick by Scorpions from The Rhythm of Love, which again is a cool song. I love this tune. I don't know what it is. Several things about why I love this song so much. I'll share a little story with you after this, but I want us to just kind of take this as a foundation and build on it. So I'm just going to kind of freestyle. I'm just going to play a couple little patterns here that are based off of what we learned here, and kind of share that with you to show you ways you can expand as well. Because real quick, it's all about developing your own style and sound, not someone else's, right? I don't really care that you learned the Scorpions lick. I like it. It's cool. It's okay to learn that, but it's somebody else's lick at the end of the day. This is how you write your own, okay? So let's take that pattern here. Let me play through it one more time so I remember where the notes are. I'm never going to remember any of that. So anyway, so here's something simple, okay? So I took some of the notes that, that we have in that Scorpions little lead lick there, and I decided just to do something kind of different. So for one, I'm starting out with this really cool bend, and I'm bending 2 strings, which I really love this sound, and I want you guys to practice this too, okay? So I am on the 5th fret of the G string and also the 5th fret of the B string. I'm actually barring those 2 with my 3rd finger here, and I'm bending them both. Then I just kind of hang around the 3rd and 5th frets over the next few strings. Really, really simple. Okay, let me see if I can remember what I played. Not too complicated, and again, I don't really care that you learn exactly what I just played. Take the concept, okay? Take the concept and apply it. One of the things I want to share with you, I'm going to play something else real quick before we end here too, but play what feels most natural to you, because that's you coming out in your playing, okay? Now I know if you're new, it's a little bit more difficult if you're brand new at this. And if you're new, you definitely get into my Metal Guitar Apprentice guitar course. There's a link for that in the description of this video, along with my Metal Riff Master course, my shameless plug real quick. Both my guitar courses for Intermediate Plus and the Beginner's course, those are in the description of this video, so check that out once you watch this video. Play what feels most natural. If you've been playing for a little while, what feels more natural? Like, just try different things out. Okay, let's come up with something else. And again, I'm just coming up with these on the fly here. So what else can we come up with? You notice something here. The first couple times I played that was different from the second couple of times, and that's because when I first started out, I'm like, something's not jiving right here. Didn't really like what I had played, so I kept moving on. Guys, this is, oh man, I hope you guys are still watching this. I really hope so, because this is probably the most important part of this video, of this lesson here. You have to allow yourself room to grow. You can't just say, well, that sounded like crap, I'm just gonna stop. And just keep moving, keep going, keep playing. Even if you don't like it, play what you don't like again. Make sure you don't like it. And then keep moving forward, okay? Keep moving beyond that point. Just keep going at it, and this will help cure some of the frustration that comes with that. Look, I've been playing guitar since 1989. I still get frustrated today with certain things, especially when I'm writing music. It's like, man, I can't seem to come up with something that sounds cool, and I'll do something like that. But I've learned just to keep moving, okay? Keep moving in that direction. It will come out, I promise, okay? Now, let's go through what I played. See if I can remember it. This is the challenge for me here, guys. What we did here is I started out with actually the same few notes as the Rhythm of Love solo there, the little lead lick. So what felt most natural to me was to go up after that. So I went from that 3rd fret to 5th fret, and then I went to the 7th fret. And I kind of cut it off quickly right there. I just felt that. It's like, okay, I was going to bend up to it, but I decided to slide instead. You could bend if you wanted to, and then go back to that 5th fret. Then I heard this other rhythmic pattern in my mind, in my head here. Remember when we were learning the solo, there was that same fret between the two strings that you would have to play. I think that was the 3rd fret of the G, then the D string, and the Rhythm of Love lick there. Well, I had that kind of lodged in my head. Okay, same fret, different string. Well, I kind of mimicked that down here on the 5th fret, going from the D to the G string, where you kind of roll your finger. And I just take that 7th fret on the G string, bend a half step, then go back the way I came, right? Remember, you can kind of start in a position where you get to this point, and if you want to do a little lick or do something cool and then follow that, reverse engineer that, just follow that back the way you came, that gives you a really cool sense of melody in your guitar solo. So once again. And you can start like adding little flavors to it and stuff like that. So guys, I hope this video helped you. Real quick, I want to remind you guys, I do have a free practice guide. It's my shameless plug real quick. I do have a free practice guide called Metal Riffs and Licks. If you don't have that, grab that. There's a link for that in the description of this video. Many of you have that, so jump into one of my guitar courses, guys, if you already have my free stuff. Get my free stuff first, though. Make sure you like what I'm putting out there and that I'm the type of person that you think that you can learn from. Then get into one of my courses for beginners. If you're a beginner getting into metal guitar playing, heavy metal, then you'll want my Metal Guitar Apprentice. Start there, and if you're beyond that point, intermediate plus, then get into my course called Metal Riff Master. That's really going to help you advance and just take your skills to that next level if you feel stuck or you just want to learn some new riffs and just get some cool practice patterns down. There's also some bonus material in both courses. Those links are in the description of this video, so definitely check those out. And guys, let me know if you have any questions about this lesson here. One thing I just want to kind of reiterate real quick here. I am not turning my channel into, hey, I'm going to teach you how to play other people's music. That's just not a path I want to go down. So if you ask me, hey, teach me this song or teach me that song, I probably won't do it, guys. I'm so busy in the studio writing my own music, working on my own albums. I don't have time to sit down and learn stuff note for note. So on that note, what I played here from the Scorpions, they may play it a little bit differently. What I want you guys to understand, though, is the premises of this lesson here was to kind of show you a foundation. Like if you want to learn a solo or a rhythm part or whatever of one of your favorite songs, learn it, but more importantly, just kind of get the basis down and expand on that, because that's when you start becoming your own guitar player. I'm not saying you shouldn't learn covers. You guys know I play acoustic gigs on the weekends. Those are 3 to 4 hours of mostly 70s and 80s covers. But on top of learning those songs, I actually learn them in a way that I make them my own. Most of them I actually transpose into a different key to fit my vocal range. I'll transpose the song, and a lot of times I play it to where you can tell what it is, but it's different, right? I'm catering it to my own style. So that's what I'm telling you here. That's what I want to encourage you to do. I'm not saying you shouldn't learn cover songs. Please don't take that the wrong way. I'm not saying that you shouldn't learn the solo or the rhythm note for note. If that's what you want to do, hey, go for it. But I also want you to expand beyond that, okay? Because that's when you start developing your own signature style and sound. So guys, thank you so much for watching my video. Please give this a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Don't forget to check the links in the description. I will see you on the next video. Until then, keep it metal.